Streamback Talks.
The United States operates the most powerful navy in human history. 11 aircraft carriers, more firepower than the next 10 navies combined. And yet, there is one narrow stretch of water it cannot guarantee to keep open. The Strait of Hormuz, a bent, narrow channel between Iran and Oman, connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. Every strategist in Washington knows its name, and every one of them loses sleep over it. At its narrowest, the strait is only about 21 miles wide, roughly the distance of a half marathon. From the Iranian coast, you can cover the entire channel with weapons that fit on the back of a truck. A cruise missile crosses it in about 2 minutes. And it's even tighter than it looks. Deep draft tankers can't use the whole strait. They follow 2 designated lanes, one inbound, one outbound, each just 2 miles wide for the largest ships ever built. Through those lanes pass roughly 100 large vessels every single day, around 3,000 a month. Crude carriers, gas tankers, container ships. It is one of the busiest and most valuable waterways on Earth. The cargo is what makes it matter. About 20 million barrels of oil transit the strait daily, roughly a fifth of everything the world consumes. Add to that about 1/5 of the world's liquefied natural gas, mostly from Qatar. In February this year, Iran proved every warning true. After US and Israeli strikes hit Iranian soil, the Revolutionary Guard closed the strait within hours. Oil tanker traffic didn't just slow down, it collapsed, a 95% drop. But this wasn't the first time. Back in April 1988, after an American frigate struck an Iranian mine, the US Navy retaliated. In a single day, it sank or crippled roughly half of Iran's operational navy. Iran learned its lesson. Don't fight the world's strongest navy on its own terms. Change the game. Iran rebuilt its entire strategy around one idea. You don't need to control the strait. You only need to make it dangerous. Consider what that 1988 mine actually did. It cost Iran roughly $1,500. It nearly sank a warship worth hundreds of millions, causing damage that took over $90 million to repair. That math changes everything. Iran is believed to hold several thousand naval mines, from simple contact mines to modern smart mines that sit on the seabed and wake up when a ship passes. They can be laid quietly, at night, from boats that look like fishing dhows. And here's the trap. Laying mines takes hours. Clearing them takes months. The US Navy has only a handful of minesweepers in the region, and no insurer lets tankers sail until a channel is proven clean. Not probably clean, proven. The mines are only layer 1. Along Iran's mountainous coastline sit hundreds of anti-ship cruise missiles on mobile launchers. They hide in caves and valleys, roll out, fire, and disappear, long before anyone can strike back. Remember the geography. The strait is 21 miles wide. Many of these missiles can reach several times that distance. From Iranian soil, every single ship in the channel is within range at all times. There is nowhere to hide. Layer 3, the swarm. The Revolutionary Guard operates hundreds of small, fast attack boats, some armed with rockets and torpedoes, some deliberately disguised as fishing vessels. Cheap, scattered, and nearly impossible to hunt down completely. And in the last decade, a 4th layer, drones. Cheap aerial drones, unmanned boats packed with explosives, loitering munitions. Each one costs a fraction of the missile needed to shoot it down. The economics always favor the attacker. For decades, Iran didn't need to use any of this. The threat alone was enough, until February 2026, when it wasn't. The mines went into the water. The warnings went out over radio, and the strait shut down. Because tankers don't sail on courage, they sail on insurance. Every voyage through a war zone requires special war risk coverage. When the threat rises, premiums explode, and a $100 million ship simply stays in port. We'd already seen it on a smaller scale. In 2019, after a handful of tankers were damaged by mysterious explosions near the strait, war risk insurance rates multiplied roughly tenfold within weeks. And in the 1980s, during the so-called tanker war, hundreds of commercial vessels were attacked in these waters over several years. Oil still flowed, but slower, costlier, and under naval escort. Follow the chain reaction. Ships pause, supply tightens, oil prices spike, crude nearly doubled, fuel prices in Asia hit record highs. That means costlier shipping, costlier food, costlier everything. But can't the oil just go around? Barely. Saudi Arabia and the Emirates have bypass pipelines, but even at full stretch, they can carry only a fraction of what the strait moves daily. For most of that oil, there is no plan B. And the pain lands hardest in Asia. The great majority of Hormuz oil sails east, to China, India, Japan, South Korea. But oil is one global market. When the strait sneezes, every economy on Earth catches the cold. So what finally pushed Iran to do it? The calculation that held for decades, that closing the strait would hurt Iran as much as anyone, broke the moment American and Israeli bombs hit Iranian soil. When survival is at stake, economic logic stops mattering. And the cost has been staggering. Iran's oil exports have collapsed. China, its biggest customer, has been cut off. The blockade is costing Iran an estimated $500 million a day. For decades, the strait stayed open because of a fragile balance. America could devastate Iran's forces, but not before mines were in the water. Iran could close the strait, but only once. In February 2026, that balance shattered. For years, Iran played it smart. A seized tanker, a military exercise, just enough to keep the world nervous. But this time, there was no bluff. The mines went in, and 20,000 sailors and 2,000 ships found themselves trapped inside the Gulf. And that is the real answer. The United States can sink every ship Iran owns. It has before. It is doing it right now. But geography cannot be sunk, and mines cost less than missiles. You can destroy a fleet. You cannot destroy the fear.